with compliance professionals. Today we're going to be talking about our personal protective equipment. We wear that equipment to minimize exposure to hazards that can cause serious workplace injuries and illnesses. So these injuries and illnesses may result from contact with chemicals, radiological, physical, electrical, mechanical, or other workplace hazards. There's a lot of different kinds. So just start thinking about the PPE that you might be wearing. You know, things like gloves, safety glasses, steel-toed shoes, earplugs or ear muffs, hard hats, respirators, or coverall vests, things like that. I mean, I even go to some places where people wear a full body suit, depending on what it is they might be doing. So, what can be done to ensure proper use of personal protective equipment? Well, number one, it should be safely designed and constructed and also maintained in a clean and reliable fashion. It should fit comfortably for you. If it doesn't fit comfortably, I know what's going to happen. A lot of people are just going to take it off and toss it to the side. So in engineering, when work practice and administrative controls aren't feasible or they do not provide sufficient protection for the individuals, then personal protective equipment is absolutely necessary. And workers should know the following. You guys should know the following. Number one, when is it necessary? What kind of equipment is necessary when you're on the job? How to properly put it on, adjust it, wear, and then take it off, the limitations of the equipment, and then the proper care, maintenance, the useful life, and the disposal of the equipment when you're done with it. If you cannot eliminate all physical hazards through engineering, administrative controls, personal protective equipment provides your last line of defense. Data shows that most workers who suffer eye, foot, and head injuries normally aren't wearing their PPE. I've gone and talked to so many guys and I say, well, you know, what happened to your eye? Well, I was working away and some particulate flew up in it. And I say, you know, did you have your safety glasses on or face shield? Well, I just took them off for a second. I just wasn't wearing them. I had them off for about 10 seconds is what they always say. And they get something in their eye. So, you can't eliminate all of the physical hazards that are out there. So let's talk about some of them just a little bit. Number one, head hazards. There's all kinds of different helmets out there. There's kind with a front bill that come out. There's kind that have a bill all the way around them. You know, they're hard hats. There's helmets that people wear. There's bump caps that are suitable PPE to avoid head hazards. In general, protective helmets or hard hats should do the following. Number one, they should resist penetration by objects. They should absorb the shock of a blow. They should be water resistant, slow burning, and of course, you know, you don't want them to freeze either. So all hard hats will do that. There also should be some really clear instructions explaining the proper adjustment and the replacement and the suspension of the headband. Let's talk about eye hazards real quickly. I've got a pair of glasses right here. This might be similar to the ones that you wear. So if you take a look, what's on the side of that on the side of these glasses, right about in here, it should say Z87 Plus on it. Okay. What do these glasses do? Well, they will keep away some dust, some dirt, metal, wood chips entering the eye from activities like chipping, grinding, sawing, hammering, the use of power tools, and even strong wind forces. They will help a little bit with dust. They keep chemical splashes out of your eyes from corrosive substance, from acid, from hot liquids, solvents, or any other hazardous solutions. They're going to keep that out of your eyes. They're going to keep objects that are swinging in the air. You know, they'll protect your eyes or your face. And then radiant energy from welding. You can get these tinted. They'll help out a lot. And that'll keep harmful rays away. And then also there's lasers. I don't know if you have any on the job, but they do have these that you can buy for lasers. If you happen to be a guy like me who wears glasses, you can get a pair that looks like this. They're a little bit different, but they're Z87 Plus, and I have to put them on like this. They go over my glasses is what they do. And I normally wear them when I'm in manufacturing facilities, things of that nature. I got to tell you, they're not too bad. They're kind of comfortable. They do okay. After about an hour, not so much. I get tired of them, and they start to bother my nose a little bit. But you've got to have some type of eyeglasses on when you're on the job. If you wear glasses like this, they do make side shields for these that help a little bit, but not so much, because you notice the place underneath my eyes here, things can get in right through here and underneath them. You can get these made as glasses also. I talked to a guy today that had these with bifocals in them. He has a problem with his eyes, so he wears those. Breathing hazards. So here's a mask right here. These are ones that most people use. You shouldn't be around silica. If you're around anything that causes a mask, why don't you leave the area and get it worked out first, okay? This is not necessarily a good thing to have to wear, but if you do have to wear them, it says right on here, I don't know if you can see that or not, N95. Okay, guys, that's the way to go. It's a pretty thick mask, got a piece of foam right in here, a metal strip right here where you can punch it down on your nose. However, don't be near silica, please, of any kind. It's not good for you. Stay away from it. Feed hazards. You know, I asked the question today, how many of you guys here in this room, and there was, I don't know, maybe 40 guys in the room, how many of you guys are glad you had steel-toed boots on? And I had about 15 people raise their hands where they had a piece of steel fall on top of their shoe, and it would collapse at a half an inch to an inch in one case, but it saved their toes. 4 guys told stories of how a piece of steel rolled off and landed on their foot. One guy was using a crane and it got away from him for some reason, I don't know what, and he had a piece of steel fall on his foot and it fell about 3 feet. Make sure, guys, that you're wearing some good shoes, if you would, please, okay? Body hazards. Some people do wear full-size body suits. Normally they're in paint booths, medical profession, things of that nature. You guys don't do that. You all wear cotton clothes. That's a good thing to wear, and that's very common to the industry. You want to avoid things that are polyester, because if you're sliding around and moving, that can cause static electricity and shock. So wear the cotton clothes. Let's talk about hands, okay? These are just some of the gloves that I run into as I go around. These have sort of a rubber coating on them. Not too much to them, but, you know, nice rubber coating would save your hands a little bit. Here's some that are a little different. General work practice, I think, is what these would be for. A lot of you might have work gloves, leather gloves, such as this that you work with. And then some of you at one time or another may have to use some nitrile type gloves. This keep chemicals away. By the way, you should have a pair of these around if there's any bodily fluids where somebody got hurt. It can be people who have bled and there's blood on the floor. It can be urine, anything, any body fluid that might come from our bodies when people get hurt. And you got to have a pair of these around if you're asked to clean it up, okay? Otherwise, don't do it. I know some guys that put on a pair of these, and then they put these on over them so they can do some work with their leather gloves, and then real quickly, if they need to switch to these, they can take, they'll have these on, okay? Hearing protection. Let's talk about hearing protection. When I walk around, I got a little hearing monitor, and I look for 85 decibels is what I look for. You'd have to have over 85 decibels for an extended period of time for over 8 hours before it really starts hurting your ears. I use the little foam ones, guys, right here. They're available for you if you need to use some. This has just a little cord on it here that keeps it together so I don't lose it quite so easily. But, I asked some guys this morning, I said, how do you put these on? And one guy says, well, I just jam them in my ears. Well, that's not the way to do it. Take them, you roll them like this. I'll bring this one up so it compares it to you. You roll them, you get them all tight, and then you stick this in your ear, and over a period of a couple minutes, it's going to expand out again, is what it will do, and it will be just like this in your ear. These actually work pretty darn good. They have fairly high decibel ratings, and I would recommend them to you. If things are really loud, you might get a pair of these, and then you also might have to wear some earmuffs, okay? You have to be careful of the duration of the noise. I know that that's true because over here, I wear a hearing aid. It was around too many loud explosions, okay, over a long period of time. You can harm your hearing. It's no fun. What happens, fellows, is that inside of our ears, we have very tiny hairs. And when you hear noise, those hairs move back and forth, and they send a signal to the brain as to what it is that we're saying. Our brains can't hear. Our ears can. When those little tiny hairs, when somebody makes a loud noise and they move, well, over a long period of time, what they'll do is they go down and then they come back up again. They go down and then they come back up again. Well, after a while, if the noise is repetitive for a long period of time, those little tiny hairs fall down. And once they fall down, they don't come back up again. So, take it from me, that's what happened to me. I have to wear a hearing aid now so I can listen to people and what they say, and it's very inconvenient, and the batteries are kind of expensive, so you don't want to go there. Wear earplugs, okay? If you need to, get a pair, stick them in your ears. They're not uncomfortable, they work okay, and it's going to save you for a long period of time. Okay, guys, what's that? Oh, the quiz. I got to do the quiz. I sent a quiz out to you, and it says, question number 1, I'm wearing the proper wraparound safety glasses. On the side of them, right here, I see KRPTN safe, high impact, HP safe, or Z87 plus. The answer, fellas, Z87 plus. That's what you need to have on there. That means these glasses, high impact. That's what you really want. Types of PPE include the following: a hard hat, ear protection, fingernail and thumb protectors out there, and ladders. What's the answer there? If you circled the right ones, it would be a hard hat and ear protection. Ladders, fingernail and thumb protectors, nah, they don't do it. Workers should know the limitation of their equipment, so circle the one that is correct. How to put on the PPE, when to dispose of it. Eye hazards can cause tremors in the hands. 1 and 2 are correct. 3 is wrong. Number 4, if engineering and administrative controls won't fix a problem that could throw shavings in my eyes, I should always wear my PPE. True or false? Obviously, that's going to be true. Please protect your eyes. I talked to too many guys this morning in regards to eyewear where a doctor had to scrape across their eye to get something out. They had to use a strong magnet to pull something out. But some guys who had an aluminum shaving stuck in their eye, the doctor had to take a pair of tweezers and do this all the way down to their eyeball and then pull it out. That's freaky when that happens, guys. You don't want that to happen. So that's it for PPE today. Please wear your PPE. Be safe, fellas. Go home safe with all your fingers and toes. Thanks very much. Talk to you later.